Aita for not telling my boyfriend I could understand his language this whole time. I have been dating Andrew for about 8 months, and now I feel like my whole reality shifted sideways. When I met him, he told me he was born in Mexico and moved to the US when he was 12. I love learning languages and I speak Spanish well, but for some reason I hesitated to tell him the moment slipped by, and then it felt strange to bring it up later. On our first date, he got a call from his mom and he spoke in Spanish. When he hung up, he apologized and told me he always spoke Spanish with family. I almost told him right then that I understood every single word, but he looked so comfortable in that small, private world that I just smiled and said it was fine. That was the moment. Everything started. After that, it became this silent little secret. The longer I went without saying it, the harder it felt to admit it. Hey, I know everything you have been saying to your family for months. Did not feel natural to say, so I just stayed quiet. At first, it was harmless. I heard his mom ask if I was the kind of girl he could bring home, and I heard him say I was different in a good way. It made my chest warm hearing him talk about me like that. Then 2 months ago, things shifted. His cousin Manuel moved in for a while, and there were more Spanish conversations in the house. Some were not kind at all. One night I was making dinner when I heard Manuel ask when Andrew was going to date someone real instead of wasting time with white girls who do not know our culture. Andrew did not defend me. He said, "It is not serious with Jana. She is fun. But of course I will end up with someone my family approves of my hands." Shook so hard I almost dropped the food. We had talked about meeting each other's parents the week before, and he had acted excited. That hurt in a way I did not expect. After that, I began to notice more. His sister visited and asked if I was boring in bed, and Andrew laughed and said definitely not and promised to tell her more later. I felt sick. His mom called and asked if I was still too skinny, and he said yes, and that he was trying to get me to eat more. I felt my heart break piece by piece. The final hit came last weekend. We were out with Manuel and another friend, Diego. I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, they switched from Spanish to English so fast I would not have noticed if I had not heard the end of Andrew's words. He said, "She is just a placeholder until I move back home. My parents would never accept someone who does not speak Spanish or understand our traditions." For 8 months, I had been falling in love with him. For 8 months, he had been talking about me like I was temporary and small and not enough simply because he thought I was clueless. I said I felt sick and took an Uber home. He texted all night asking if I needed anything. The next morning, I told him to meet me at a cafe. When he sat down, I looked him in the eyes and spoke in Spanish. The shock that hit his face was almost painful to watch. His whole body froze. Then his eyes widened with slow horror. I told him in Spanish that I had heard everything, the sweet parts, the cruel parts, the 2 honest parts he tried to claim I misunderstood, or that he was only saying those things to please his family. I asked why he needed 2 versions of himself, one in English for me and one in Spanish for everyone else. He got angry and said I had violated his privacy by not telling him I spoke Spanish. I said listening to a language spoken in front of me was not spying, and that he was the one who had been hiding his intentions. Everything fell apart from there. He accused me of cultural entrapment, whatever that means. I told him he had used me like a temporary experiment while waiting for someone he thought was better. He stormed out saying he needed time, and I have not heard from him in 3 days.